procedure and its content. This trial is a test of the very foundations upon which our government is built. There is an overwhelming public interest in ensuring the perceived fairness of these proceedings. In a highly charged political season, naturally all Americans, and in fact the entire world, are observing these proceedings closely. Only if this trial is administered by a judge who appears entirely impartial could the public ever accept the outcome as justice. The law commands a judge to recuse herself if her impartiality might reasonably be questioned. The standard is not particularly high, especially in a case, as here, where the DOJ answers to a president who is prosecuting his main leading opponent in an election that will take place in just over a year. Now, they say the standard is low. Now, legally you might say so, but as a practical matter, judges don't get recused regularly. Now is not the time for the American people to second-guess a judge's impartiality, even though I agree completely that she should be recused. Rather, the court should ensure the public remains unwaveringly confident in its decisions and its commitment to the fair and impartial administration of justice. Therefore, President Trump requests Judge Chutkan recuse herself from further proceedings. For the foregoing reasons, Judge Chutkan should recuse herself and direct this clerk to randomly assign this matter to another district judge. So, judge, recuse yourself, and then clerk, give it to someone else. Additionally, given the overriding public interest in ensuring the appearance of fairness in this proceeding, President Trump requested the court consider this motion on an expedited basis, and pending resolution, withhold rulings on any other pending motions. So don't work on anything else that you're working on. Alright, so we'll see what the DOJ comes back with. Now, you'll see here that there were two sentencings that were also brought up. We read a little bit of the highlights of them in the actual filing, but let's just take a quick look at what they included. We have here 8 pages, and this is the case, Donald Trump being prosecuted in Judge Chutkan's courtroom, District of Columbia. You see, this is Exhibit A, and this is just an excerpt from the sentencing in Judge Tanya Chutkan's court. So this was some time ago. This is exactly what they were referencing in their filing. This is the final sentence from Ms. Priola. She's telling the judge, Judge, Your Honor, I just want to be a good example of the world, how to help families, not be divided, and co-workers and friends, not be divided, and our nation not be divided. I just really want to try to do that. And whatever sentence you give me, I hope it just brings justice and peace, some peace to the people that I've heard. Thank you, Your Honor. And she says, thank you, Ms. Priola, the judge. After calculating the sentencing guidelines and the departures, and hearing the statements, I now have the difficult job, as I ever do. I have to impose a sentence. The government has stated these purposes, and I don't need to list them all again. We're familiar with January 6th, says Judge Chutkan. We've had close to 900 prosecutions all brought in this court. This is a small court. All judges are taking their fair share of these cases, myself included. This has to do with it. And every case presents a different defendant in a different situation, and I know my other colleagues endeavor to treat each person as an individual and not part of a mob. We have to be mindful of what happened that day. So she's talking about how busy they are. Right? Every single time that I see a videotape of what happened that day, I'm struck anew with both the horror of what was going on that day and how close we came to not fulfilling one of the basic functions of our democracy, which is the peaceful transfer of power, which we lecture other governments all over the world on. Now she's literally part of the prosecution that is prosecuting a political opponent of the guy in power. It's her party. We should be lecturing ourselves. We are lecturing. We're lecturing you, Judge Chutkan, for being a part of the problem, for being a part of the evaporation of democratic ideas. We're supposed to be an example of not prosecuting our political opponents in America, but you're not going to sentence yourself, are you? And so while Mr. Langmark, they say, this is Judge Chutkan, is correct that your background didn't involve any criminal activity, Priola, the events of that day and the seriousness of those events cannot be understated. This was nothing less than an attempt to violently overthrow the government and the legally, lawfully, peacefully elected government by individuals who were mad that their guy lost. Right? There is no mob without members of the mob, and Trump remains free to this. He should be incarcerated if she had her way. If she was prosecuting this, he would have been rounded up. So Mr. Langmark made a point to sentencing recommendation. If you were to take your participation out of that group, everything would have still happened, but you were there. And the people in ways, they act in different ways when they're with the mob, and you're one of a few defendants, Ms. Priola, to at least acknowledge the harm. But you and other rioters are calling themselves patriots. That makes her, I think, skin crawl, probably. Nothing could be further from the truth. The people who stormed the Capitol that day were what? Federal agents, Ray Epps, FBI agents, pipe bombers, they never got found. The FBI was wanted list like Ray Epps. So very dramatic, okay, very theatrical, and the same thing is happening in other type of sentencing, where she says much the same thing in the case of Robert Scott Hall. So this is Judge Chutkan, obviously very biased, very partisan, and that is just her prior statements. They didn't go into anything in this case that was covered whatsoever, which of course includes a lot of other problems, like the fact that she said it was reasonable for the defense to read millions, literally millions of pages of documents before the trial starts to show the evidence. So, lunacy. Donald Trump files a motion for recusal. Government's going to respond. If I have my guess on it, Judge Chutkan's not going to recuse herself, which means we'll be seeing more of her, and we'll continue